Okay, guys, I'm here to give my review of WrestleMania 22. So there's only 8 more vids I now have to do in the WrestleMania review series. So, WrestleMania 22, April the 2nd, 2006, from the Allstate Arena in Chicago, Illinois. To this day, this is the last time that Chicago has hosted WrestleMania. Unless it goes to Soldier Field. But as of now, this is the last time Chicago has hosted WrestleMania. So our opening contest is the World Tag Team Championship match. The Big Show and Kane versus Carlito and Chris Masters. Oh, not a great match, but certainly not a bad match. You know, 1 star, heel miscommunication between Masters and Carlito leads to Big Show and Kane picking up the win and retaining the World Tag Team titles. They would lose the tag titles the next night to the Spirit Squad. But an okay match, but again, nothing special. 1 star. So then we get the second Money in the Bank ladder match, but the first interpromotional Money in the Bank ladder match. 3 Raw guys, 3 SmackDown guys, and both commentary teams are commentating this match. So the second Money in the Bank ladder match, it was Rob Van Dam versus Ric Flair versus Shelton Benjamin versus Matt Hardy versus Bobby Lashley versus Finlay. 2 stars here. Not as good as the first Money in the Bank ladder match. But again, the caliber of the people in the first Money in the Bank ladder match made it better. Here, you couldn't do a lot of ladder spots with 3 of the people in it. You know, you had Lashley, Finlay, and Flair. Lashley's not a guy you think of for ladder matches, and nor are Finlay and Flair just because of their age at the time that they were. Flair does, to his credit, take 2 very, very big bumps in this ladder match. One is a superplex off the ladder, and the other is Finlay hits him with his shillelagh and he falls off the top rung of the ladder. But essentially, Rob Van Dam wins this ladder match and becomes the second Mr. Money in the Bank. So, 2 stars here. Nothing horrible. It wasn't a horrible match, but not as good as the original one. So, next match, WWE United States Championship match. Chris Benoit versus JBL. JBL has Jillian Hall with him. And this is an okay match. I will say, once I got rid of that mole or growth or whatever the Boogie Man ate, you could see just how gorgeous Jillian Hall actually was, because she was really, really, really good looking. But, anyway, JBL rolls through the crossface, hooks the ropes, and that wins him the U.S. Championship. Like I said, okay match, not great, 1.5 stars. Then we get to a good match. The hardcore match between Mick Foley and Edge. This is a hardcore match that tells a story, and a very good story. It's a good hardcore match. It's 3 stars. And it also ends with a very memorable WrestleMania moment with the spear for the flaming table, which is how Edge beats Foley in this match. And Edge continued his undefeated streak at 4-0 at this time. And at WrestleMania 24, they say he's still undefeated at Mania, but the next WrestleMania, I kind of beg to differ that, and I'll get into that with WrestleMania 23. But it could be because of something else that happened, but I'll get into that with WrestleMania 23. But 3 stars for this hardcore match. So, of the first 4 matches, they were all somewhat good, and you had 1 really good. That was 3 stars. Then we get to a match that's just bad, and I would say really brings this show down. It's 1 of 2 matches that really brings the show down. And that's the Boogie Man versus Booker T and Chimel. This match is bad. If they want to do Boogie Man Booker T, just do that, because honestly, Chimel doesn't do anything in this match, and she doesn't bring anything to it. So, I would, if they wanted to do Boogie Man and Booker, just do that. But anyway, Boogie Man wins with a choke bomb thing. And this is Boogie Man's only WrestleMania. He was never at another WrestleMania again. Which I would say if he was heel, I could argue possibly of doing at some point the Boogie Man versus Undertaker at WrestleMania. And I've never really understood why the Boogie Man was a face to begin with. I mean, presumably he's supposed to be a character that appeals to kids, and I guess that worked in a way. But honestly, if a name like the Boogie Man, most kids are scared of the Boogie Man. So why don't you just have the Boogie Man be heel? Kids are scared of the Boogie Man anyway. At least really little ones are scared of the Boogie Man. So so I never understood the Boogie Man being heel, nor did I ever understand Crime Time being face. So I'll get into that if I ever get to talk about Crime Time on any part. About why I never really thought that they should have been faces, but whatever. Next is the WWE Women's Championship match. Trish Stratus versus Mickie James. This is probably the best women's match in WrestleMania history. And that's not really saying much given the rest of the matches that follow it and some of the ones that precede it. But the second best one, you could argue, is Wendy Richter and Leilani Kai from WrestleMania 1. This is actually better than that, as there's a little bit more, as there's a much better story behind it, and there's actually there's psychology in it. Everyone knows the storyline between Trish and Mickie, at least if you're old enough to, is that Mickie James came in this fan of Trish Stratus, but the WWE also has some lesbian undertones mixed into this storyline. And it led to their breakup and their blow-off into this match. And not to mention Trish had been women's champion for a year. And I think that's why the Chicago crowd really turned on Trish. They call this crowd Bizarro World a lot, but really, the Chicago crowd was turning on Trish because she had been women's champion for a year. But I've never touched on this. Half of her women's championship reign from January of 2005 all the way till here, she spent most of that on the injured reserve list. So, and they never stripped the title from her, so it wasn't like she was non-stop for a year defending the championship. She was just injured for a while. And I think that's why the crowd turned on Trish, and Mickie was new. Mickie was a new fresh face. But Trish goes for a chick kick outside the ring. She kicks the ring post, and then Mickie starts going to work on the leg. There's the psychology there, and Mickie wins with the chick kick. So Mickie beats Trish with Trish's own move. That adds to this match too. It's a 3-star match. Like I said, it's the best women's match in history of WrestleMania. And every women's match that comes after this is not as good, especially the one at the very next WrestleMania. Heck, and the one that follows it on this show, because there's 2 Diva matches on this show. I argue you only need one, and it's Mickie and Trish. So 3 stars. So then we get Undertaker's streak match. This time it's a casket match. The only casket match in WrestleMania history. Unless they make Bray Wyatt and Undertaker from this WrestleMania casket match, but that'd be pointless. But anyway, Undertaker versus Mark Henry. Not a bad match, but not the greatest. It's 1.5 stars. Undertaker wins. It's a normal casket match, with Undertaker's dive over the casket being the only real standout moment in the match. So next we get the no-holds-barred match. Shawn Michaels versus Mr. McMahon. This is a 3-star no-holds-barred match. Again, it's a hardcore-style match, but a story is told in it. And they use it to help to tell the story of the match. And to be honest, you know, this is not that bad. of a match. It's much better than Vince's match he had at WrestleMania 26, but that's only due to the fact, and I'll get into that when I talk about 26, and that's only because of the fact that match goes way too long than it needs to. So, anyway, Shawn Michaels won here, which he should have done, and I know what this match led to at the very next event, Backlash, which I was actually at, and just for fun, maybe, for a bonus vid when I'm done, if I don't have any kind of thing to talk about, maybe I'll rewatch Backlash 2006 and review it, and tell you about some of the stuff that happened, because I was actually at that event, because I was actually at Backlash 2006. To this day, it remains the only wrestling pay-per-view I've ever been to live, to this day. I've been to at least 4 Raws in my life, I've been to a WCW house show in my life, and I've been to Backlash 2006. So, Backlash 06 to this day is the only pay-per-view I've ever been at. So, I might review it just because I was actually there. But it would only be if I don't have anything else to do. So, anyway, 3 stars. Okay, match. So then we get the triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. I disagree with this whole idea here. Because, number one, unless there's a very valid storyline reason for it, I do not agree with the Royal Rumble winner ever having to defend their championship match. Unless there's a storyline reason for it. Take when Rock did it against the Big Show at No Way Out 2000. That made sense in the storyline because of the fact there was doubt if Rock hit first before the Big Show. And even a referee said from his point of view that Rock's feet hit first. So it made sense for Rock to put the title shot on the line there for that. It didn't make sense in 2000 when they had Triple H do it. It didn't make sense because Angle did not have a gripe, so you couldn't make a storyline reasoning for it. And anyway, that match is more about Triple H and Stephanie anyway than it is about Kurt Angle getting a match at WrestleMania 18. But like I said, Angle dumps Triple H over the top, but Angle never checks to see if Triple H hit the floor. So that's not a valid story reason for that shot to be defended. And here, again, there's no reason for it to have been defended because Mysterio clearly flipped Randy Orton out. So there was no reason to put this on. And even if you were going to do that, have Mysterio win. The fact you had Mysterio lose, you had to have Teddy Long add him to this match because the Royal Rumble winner has to get a shot at WrestleMania contractually. It's part of the Royal Rumble contracted thing. And since I didn't review Fastlane because I didn't watch it, I may never watch it, there was really no real storyline reason to have Roman Reigns defended against Daniel Bryan either. I always thought that was just to appease some angry fans. If there's a storyline reason, go for it. If not, no. I don't like when the Royal Rumble winner has to defend their championship match before WrestleMania unless there's a storyline reason. And Rock's the only one I know of that has I will defend having to do that for the storyline. So, anyway, this is this match goes less than 10 minutes and it deserves far, far more. In fact, I would take out the entire next match and just add more time to this match and take a little bit of time off of Triple H and Cena and add to this. Because Angle, Orton, and Mysterio didn't have a lot of time to tell their story because of it. And I think Angle was an afterthought anyway because this build-up package, watching it, the build-up package for this match is all about Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio. So Kurt Angle was an afterthought. Rey hits a 619 and then the West Coast pop to pin Orton and win the World Heavyweight Championship. But it always makes me wonder, was this really meant to be Eddie Guerrero winning the World Heavyweight Championship here? Because I believe had he not died, he was supposed to win the 2006 Royal Rumble. I believe that's what the original plan was. I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that. I do know that a lot of people don't like the whole Rey Mysterio title reign because of what they feel it did to Eddie Guerrero, because essentially Eddie Guerrero's death was used as a plot point to get Randy Orton into that match No Way Out anyway, and it was kind of exploiting Eddie Guerrero's death in a way. And I do agree with that. Now, am I against Rey Mysterio having that one World Championship reign of length? No, not really. WWE never said it was directly related to Eddie Guerrero anyway. They said it was the feud that Rey had with Eddie Guerrero was the catalyst for it. So, yeah. Was the catalyst for that. So, yeah. So, anyway, 1 star. So then we get a match that doesn't really belong here. The Playboy Pillow Fight. Tori Wilson versus Candice Michelle. No stars. I don't even think this match belongs where it's at. I do not believe this match belongs anywhere before the main event. I get that the WWE wanted to sandwich the 2 world championships. Okay. But, well, why don't you keep the triple threat where it was, but then move and then switch this match and the no holds barred match to separate them, or just do the no holds barred match, or put the Playboy Pillow Fight where you put the triple threat match for the world title and move the world championship match down here, and that way both world titles close the show like it did, like at 21 when the 2 world titles were the last 2 matches. I think it's an insult to Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio, and Randy Orton that this match followed their match. I really do. This is no stars, and it's not really entertaining at all. It's a glorified match for eye candy, which, okay, and I get that this was part of the yearly Diva Playboy tradition of whoever poses in Playboy gets a featured match at WrestleMania. But they've all been bad. All the Playboy-related women's matches at WrestleMania have been bad. And that includes the one next year. Which is for the women's title. That is the single worst women's match in WrestleMania history. So, no stars. So, final match is the main event. WWE Championship match. John Cena versus Triple H. Good match here. WWE still knew how to tell a story of Cena in a way here. I don't get Cena's whole gangster entrance thing. I don't get that. I've never got it. But CM Punk was one of them, so there's that. But this is a very good match. It's 4.5 stars. Cena wins, which was the right booking decision. Do I think they needed the whole him kicking out of a sledgehammer to the head thing? No. I think that's a little bit overkill, because a sledgehammer is generally one thing that if you get hit with, you're probably going to be knocked out or dead. Outside of wrestling, of course. So I would have just threw that entire thing out, because that's the main reason for the ref bump that's in here, so Triple H can use a sledgehammer. I would have thrown that sledgehammer spot out and just had it be the way Cena won, countering the pedigree into the STF and making Triple H tap out. So 4.5 stars. Total star for this show, total star rating out of 55 is 20.5. So it's a D+. It's right outside a C-, but not near enough to a C. And on top of that, that's with having the 2 matches that should be off this show. If you took the Boogie Man's match off and the Playboy Pillow Fight, you would probably at least have a C to a C+ show here. But as this is a very, very, very high D+. So, because of those 2 matches, it's a downgrade from 21. But certainly not a bad WrestleMania in terms of some things. It's just because of these 2 matches, I can't rate it any higher. Those 2 matches that I said don't belong here. So the next video in the series will be WrestleMania 23. That'll be uploaded probably Wednesday. So because tomorrow I'm watching Disc 2 of Operation Overdrive for the Power Ranger review series. So this will be in the WrestleMania review series playlist. If you like the video, like button is down there, subscribe button is down there, and thank you for watching. Bye.